So, hello everyone, Cyreides here. Just wanted to do a little bit of a different sort of update video today. It's been a minute since I've done a video. I know I haven't been super consistent lately about doing that, with all the stuff going on with Zera Otherworlds and all that funness. But thought I would try and get one out to you guys today, since there's been quite a few updates and changes to the Zera Otherworlds build that's released. And also, I said I would try something different with actually speaking over the video, because I'm pretty sure, I don't think I've ever done this before, so this should be interesting. But yeah, here we are in the hub world for Zera Otherworlds, which is called Cosmic Core. I know I didn't really cover anything, obviously. The last and only video I've done on Otherworld so far. Said it was my little quote-unquote speed run. But so today is part of the other reason I wanted to kind of go over things. Actually, just directly talk to you guys and tell you what's up with stuff. So yeah, the Zera Otherworlds, if you haven't seen it, or if you just don't know, is essentially a side project to the main game's development. Like, it is entirely new content separate from this Awaken. Obviously, it's using the same, engine and stuff like that. Same basic coding behind it, but all levels, all that kind of stuff. The new characters for it, all that kind of stuff is brand new for this specifically. And it's just kind of like a little way for me to just play around with stuff and experiment with different kinds of gameplay, pay tribute to, some of my favorite games and stuff in the genre, things that have influenced me, and Zera along the way. It's also something to help tide you guys over while you wait for the main game's development, so I don't have to keep spoiling everything from this Awaken. Much as I love showing stuff, I do kind of want to keep some of it, like, secret, I guess. So there's more of a surprise for you guys when you get to play it. And this gives you guys basically a way to beta test the main game as well, because they do share the same code and mechanics and things like that. It lets me know, like, if I'm doing something in this, like, oh, is this a good idea? People like this? Is this fun for people? What do they think of this kind of designs, etc. It's a good way of basically letting you guys sort of get like an early access kind of thing for the main game, without actually it being the main game. But so yeah, wanted to do this. So let's start with I guess the first major thing about the changes since the speedrun video that I did. The lighting got a bit of an adjustment, because I knew it was I hadn't quite got to like the final lighting pass on Cosmic Core or Gaia's Castle yet when I released the initial version for people to play. So this is now with that extra bit of lighting, you can actually see things have like definition between the walls. You don't everything doesn't blend like it did. It's more noticeable in Gaia's Castle, which we will, I'll just go in there so I can actually show you guys what I'm talking about. Also, that lovely little level fade-in thing is now a thing. It properly works 100% of the time, which was not the case before. It was kind of iffy. I'm still quite not sure why, like, it didn't want to function half the time, but it does now. I just set it up in a completely different way, basically forced it to work. Yeah, so this is, the very first level for the Zera Otherworlds demo. I'm sure you could guess, those of you that have played, 3D platformers in the past, especially if you grew up in, like, the 90s or whatever, I'm sure you could tell, what this is influenced by, what it's supposed to be paying tribute to. But this is Gaia's Castle, and it's the very first thing you guys are going to get your hands on in terms of actual gameplay. And that's the thing with this demo, I want to stress, is this is going to be continuously updated. Like, obviously there's been a bunch of like little bug fixes and things like that so far. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this, to show off some of the new stuff, but like, it's more than just, oh, I changed some lighting here and there too. It's like you guys are going to get whole new levels added onto this Zera Other Worlds project gradually as time goes on. Content updates, going to be a regular thing. There will be a story, and this is all going to gradually sort of fit into the canon of Zera and everything like that. For now, all I'll say is it doesn't take place during or before Zera Myths Awaken. It's kind of just detached its own little side thing an unspecified amount of time afterwards. So yeah. Yeah, you can, I don't know, because I kind of ran through, obviously, in the speed run or whatever. I don't know how easy it is to tell, like, the lighting differences, but, like, you can see the edges of ledges are defined far more clearly now, so you can actually tell, like, you know, what's a ledge and what is, you know, the flat grass top. It makes platforming a lot easier, I would say. This level especially, let's just go over here. Now, there's one particular area a lot of people had a problem with. It's especially noticeable here, you can tell, like, where the actual edge of the hill is here. But the cloud, the very first cloud area, I know people kind of struggled with this jump over here because it wasn't really well defined in terms of the edge. So that was good feedback that we got, and it pushed me to actually get around to properly doing the rest of the level lighting that needed to be done, so that this kind of stuff was properly defined. So now you can actually, you know, see that there is an edge there, you know, where you're jumping to, where you're trying to land. So yeah, it's one of the big changes to this level, which I spent quite a bit of time on. Just it really does, like, drastically, I think, improve the feel and look of the level to have that extra bit of lighting. Like, stuff really pops and stands out more, and it doesn't look as flat. Everything has a little bit more definition now, which is pretty good. Another thing, they got changed. There's a bit of little layout stuff with some, like, relics and containers, like these guys. There's been stuff that's, like, repositioned slightly, and there's stuff that's been more drastically repositioned. I know there's a whole platform that was actually removed in the 1.4 version, which I'm on 1.4.1 because I had to fix a bug with the new mechanic that was introduced in 1.4, so it wasn't actually working half the time. It's just fun times. So, like, over here, and this is another example where people having an issue with the lighting on the edges not really being there. Now it's much more clearly a thing. Yeah, so stuff like this has been changed, which there used to be 3 platforms here, and there's 2 of these guys, these floating target balloons. And these, you know, you break with the somersault, so the little, this thing. And so one of the things that I've changed with this and kind of been wanting to get in the game, like, this was supposed to be a feature of Somersault since, like, the Holiday Adventure, like, Jollyland demo for Zera. One of the features that I wanted was when you hit stuff and break things with the somersaults. Previously it was kind of awkward. Like here, you can see that there's, you know, about an equal amount of space for the gap between these platforms, and this target balloon just is, like, floating kind of in between in the center. This wasn't a thing before that you could do with the placement. They kind of had to awkwardly be shoved, like, really close to one side or the other side because of the fact that when you use somersault, you can't pull out of it. And that's by design. I want it to be, you know, a move you sort of commit to, because it is a really powerful and fun little tool, but I want there to be some commitment to certain moves, things like that, so it's not, you know, really broken or anything, easy to abuse. But that, of course, meant that, you know, because you drop, like, trying to hit this, it was really difficult for a lot of people to actually clear the gaps, because you would have to get it just about perfectly. And it also meant that, like, if I had, you know, the target chest balloon, you know, really here, instead of, like, in the center or something, or all the way up against that platform, it was really only doable from one side, because the other side you would almost for sure fall and take damage or fall to your death because it was too close to the platform. So when you would drop, you didn't have the necessary distance to actually make it to the other side. Well, now this has been fixed. like I said, this is something I wanted in the Holiday Adventure Jolly Land demo for Zera, and that is that when you hit something with somersault, you actually get a little upwards bounce off of it. It's like this. Just like that. Oops. Now, every time you go to break something like that, well, except for that because I hit it on the ground, like you get this little extra upwards boost kind of thing, and it means you can chain certain containers together. It's not necessarily always the fastest thing, but it is just kind of like a little useful mechanical feature that I'd wanted in here that really helps and just makes the gameplay more fun, and also makes certain things less awkward to utilize, like I said, the target chest balloons. And then the other, I'm trying to think what else I want to cover here. There's really two big changes, which was the lighting, and the new mechanic is not necessarily a huge change. This is just the one thing. But the other thing that is the camera. I know a lot of people have had issues with the camera in the past, in the Holiday Adventure Jolly Land demo and this one. The camera has not been the greatest at times before. To be perfectly honest, the camera hadn't been actually like updated or like touched as far as the collision code was concerned since like February of 2017. So it's been a long update that's been coming, but yeah, happy to say now that camera collision is actually like a thing that properly collides. So like you can walk up close to a wall and it won't jitter the camera all around like this anymore. Like there's actual collision and stuff like that. Like this is significantly better than it had been, like 100%. It's not perfectly flawless or anything. There's some little bits of new camera movement that I'm still trying to have me and my coder kind of try to iron out because I'm not 100% on it. But part of that is also just me not being used to the camera really having any movement like this vertically, because before it was just like, okay, the camera would just stutter and jitter when you got close to something. Now that's not the case. So part of that is just I need to get used to it, and part of it's just little kinks and quirks about the mechanics to iron out. But I think it's really really interesting how this is gone, and like the camera is so much better. It really just is. Like let me illustrate. Like if any of you played like the Holiday Adventure demo, you want to like test this for yourself, because this is one of those things that you won't even notice that it's improved because of the fact that you wouldn't notice it was like you wouldn't notice the camera being improved, because it's just it's something you expect to work better than it had been. So like you may not even notice that the camera's fixed, and that's good because it means that you're not noticing a bunch of errors and problems with it like before. But if you want to test it, and if you have like the Jolly Land demo, because I was gonna say all the Zera Otherworld ones, it gets updated with each new build. So unless you have an old version before 1.4, you won't be able to test it in this. But if you have the Holiday Adventure Jolly Land demo, I can't speak to that. Yeah, just try going into a corner like this or something, and you will see the camera freak out on it. It'll like do this kind of stuff and like jitter around, but it's so smooth now, so incredibly smooth. It's so much better than it had ever been. I'm very, very pleased with it. It definitely makes a lot of stuff easier for people to play. And speaking of kind of ease of use things, in addition to all this kind of stuff that I mentioned before, one thing that got changed recently, because I know I've seen a lot of feedback about this, and I was kind of stingy about it, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to change it, but the handspring and the handspring jump, the handspring didn't really get changed, but the handspring jump did, because I know people were kind of struggling with it, and I've always kind of wanted this to be a little bit harder and a little bit more complex than Spyro, so I was a little resistant to changing it, but I'm honestly fine with it now that I have. So the change is that you can do the second part of the handspring, not this part, but this part. So much easier than before. The timing window, basically, as long as you're in the air after a handspring, you can do the thing. As long as you don't start to fall, basically. Like, right up until that point, I could have done the handspring jump at any point in time, and now I've died. But yeah, so that is a big change, I think, that'll definitely help people out. So this is a little thing, because then you can't sort of bounce off of these. Ooh. And that is a interesting little bug. Don't know what caused that. I guess 1.4.2 on the way soon. Yeah. It definitely makes it easier and more consistent for people to pull off. And I thought I would think it was like a negative thing that would make the game, you know, too easy to be able to just pull this off, however, but it really just makes it more consistent. So I hope it is better now for people to be able to pull off the handspring jump. It is significantly easier. You just, anytime after the handspring, basically, as soon as she gets like flipped all the way, like right side up again, you're able to press jump. And basically any moment up until the point where realistically you would hit the ground if you're doing this like this. Like at any point in time you could hit the jump there, because the timing window for it is super big now. Yeah, that is, I want to say that's most of the changes for this. Like all the big ones. There's been, like I said, a lot of bug fixes and stuff like that. You know, the lighting got changed up just to get some more definition to things. And like, I don't know, it's coming along pretty nicely in my opinion. I know I'm definitely biased, but I'm quite enjoying this demo, and I'm really particularly pleased with the reception that everything's gotten so far. It seems like a lot of people are having a really fun time with it. More so than the Holly. I keep wanting to say Hollyland, the Holiday Adventure Jollyland demo, which is good. Like, I want this to be an improvement. I always want the game to be improving and getting better for people to play. I guess one more change that I didn't really mention is, I guess, a small little detail with the collectibles. So let me cover that, and then I might end the video after that. So one of the things that got changed is the fact that Essence, which you can see here, well, hopefully, I don't know if my mouse is being captured on screen or not, but that collectible just to the left of the pause window and up in the corner, top right, where it says 1, that is the replacement for Essence in Zera Otherworlds. It's not the replacement in Miss Awaken, it'll still be Essence, but for Zera Otherworlds and story purposes, Essence doesn't really fit. It doesn't make sense for it to be in the game. So this is the new replacement for that. These are called reality cogs. They're kind of nifty little things. I don't really want to spoil anything more about them, but yeah, these are the collectibles for this game. I still got to work on some new actual effects for that and a different sound effect, but for now they still share the old Essence ones. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all the big changes. Like, there's little like bits of geometry stuff like this. Like I didn't like these boxes being like perfectly square before. Thought they didn't quite look cartoony enough, so now they got a little bit of a slant and squash at the bottom kind of thing going on. I think that makes a difference. And then of course we got like all the shading, which it makes the whole level just look so much nicer with the shading. And like the one balloon got moved over here since the way that new mechanic works with the somersault there. It means that it was kind of squashed in there before because of the nature of how it worked. Like I said, where you couldn't really clear the gap from both sides, so I kind of had those all squashed together to sort of quote-unquote fix that issue, but it wasn't really a good fix. This is the proper solution now, and I'm quite pleased with it. And it is quite a nifty little thing. Like, here's an example of something I find really fun to do. Like, that's that whole room cleared with just, you know, the one bounce. It's really fun. That's the whole thing with Zera, is I want this to be a fun, you know, really cute, just really enjoyable experience. for people. And I really do appreciate all the love and support we've been getting for this, and all the feedback as well. And like I said, at least I think I said earlier, it might have been a different recording because I've tried to record this video like 5 times now. But if you have any feedback and you want to let us know about something, you can either leave a comment on this video, or if you want to be more direct and have it somewhere that might be noticed better, you can join our Discord server, which should be linked down in the description of this video. And you can also comment on Twitter, like at me on Twitter about the demo, or respond to one of the tweets about it. But yeah, there's actually a whole feedback section, like a whole channel dedicated to feedback for this, if you join the Discord server though. So yeah, I think that's about all I really wanted to cover here, what I was planning on saying. I've just been rambling on. I don't even know how long this video is now. Yeah, I thought I would try something different out with updates. It's been a minute, and yeah, I thought I'd talk to you guys directly. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed all of this stuff so far, and like I said, there's more stuff coming soon. I don't know how soon, but there will be updates to this, like this whole project. I can show you here, like, you see there are other gateways here that are kind of like in red. They're not a thing yet. They're kind of strewn about. Cosmic core here. This is definitely not just there for decoration. There are in fact going to be more things added coming soon later this year. Like you can see here, it's like this area passes this point. It's just to explore and have fun running around in. And I mean that's most of the demo really. It's just I want you guys to have fun and explore and run around in it. But there's going to be a lot more stuff that's going to be coming. Like, there really is going to be a lot of additional content coming to the game in future updates. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed this little look at things. For now, I'm going to leave you with this, because I don't know why, but here you go. Actually, before I go, shout out to Netrum. If you don't know who that is our composer for the game. And I'm just gonna crank this up a little bit so you can hear possible headphone warning. I don't know how loud it's gonna be. But he's the guy that, you know, composes all of the music for Myths Awaken and now Zera Otherworlds. And he does a fantastic job. Like, this track in particular, Cosmic Core's track, it's just a banger. It's great. So yeah, I'll leave you with that. You can hear that for a little bit, and then I'll probably quit out of the video and the game. But yeah, just keep on the lookout for future content, and thanks for watching.